Hello, hello, hello. So I'm going to be reacting to this Arnell Armon video because there's been a lot of discourse going around because she is a newly single mother. And from my perspective, I knew that she like was having a baby. I knew she had a man or whatever, and I was like, okay, congratulations, girl. Like, do you? But then I was like, my jaw was on the floor. I actually made another video like 15 minutes long. I hadn't released it, and then I'm kind of glad I didn't release it first because I see the error in kind of how I was thinking about it. Like my initial like thought was, okay, let me find out what's going on. Like, let me see if she gave any like nuggets about what's happening, what how why the relation dissolved, right? And she was talking about like how her ex was narcissistic and he like love bombed her, and so she's gonna go into like what she defines as love bombing, because in my head I'm like, why would you have a baby by someone within a month of knowing them? Like at least like a year so you can see the true character, because like the true character will come out eventually, and like a year is like a good a good time frame to figure out who this person is, because you see them around like certain holidays. Like you see how they act during Valentine's Day. You see like if they want to spend the summer with you. You see how they act during 4th of July, during Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. So you see like all of like the major holidays, and you get to see like their character, and that will tell you what kind of person that you're with. But let's jump into the video. Someone commented on another video that she said, because she had another response video about that she like chose to struggle, and someone said, please elaborate on the love bombing so we can learn. I need a reality check and sanity check, lol. So let's get into it.
Start. I'm getting a settlement later, so this cap is going to be gone the next time you hear from me. Now, if you've experienced love bombing before, you know it feels amazing. It feels incredible. And I think sometimes, especially depending on where we're at in our lives, we won't even recognize that that's what's happening to us. And even if intuitively we feel like it could be, you may not know the term for it. In your head, you may not be thinking, oh, this is love bombing, but you could be feeling like this is too good to be true. Sometimes, and I'll speak for myself, I feel like in the past, my ego has blurred my vision a little bit, in a sense where when someone has been love bombing me, I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty amazing. I'm really cool. Like, you should be in love with me.
Girl, same, because I'm like, why? Of course, like I look good and I'm funny and I have a great personality and I'm just 5. So I'm like, okay, why wouldn't you like me? You know what I mean? And so I'm always like, I'm confused. Like I'll look at myself in the mirror and be like, what is going on with them? Like, are they blind? Like, do they? I don't know. But I will say, I have been love bombed before. I have been love bombed because I didn't know how to pace myself. Because I mean, I felt like it was like I was on a time crunch because I was like moving. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna draw the story out too long, but it was like, okay, we met, and then it was like instant chemistry, and then I knew that I was leaving within like the next week or so. I think maybe like 2 weeks. So the first week hung out. A couple days later, we hung out again, and then we like got like closer, and then I was like, I've never felt like this for anyone, because I mean, I was in such a vulnerable place. That was the key. I was in such a vulnerable place because like I had went through something like super traumatic like the week before. It wasn't like it's traumatic, but like in my head I'm like, it's not that bad. That I whatever. So I went through something super traumatic, and then like I was like had some other stuff going on, like just open wound. And so I was like, "Oh my god, I never felt like this for someone before." And then, like, I tell you, I like just jumped in head first, right? And then the person was saying all the right things. I'm like, "Oh, they lucky me back." Like, okay. And then, when I left, I was like, "Okay, like let's keep in touch." Like, cause me, I always like to stay in contact. I like to text 24/7. Like that's my thing. When I heard nothing, I was like, just got played. I was like, damn. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it. But that was like the first and last time I was ever like love bombed. Because I mean, I was just so like hopeless romantic. Like this person was my type. Don't you always get love bombed by your type. If it's somebody who your type, they gonna freaking drag you around because you're like, oh my god, this is the type of person that I see myself being with, and then you already see it. Like when you already like make that mental vision in your head, like, oh, I can see a future. I can see us moving in together. I can see this. I can see that. So you're already concocting this future with this person when you've only known them for a week. So I think you need to be like in the present moment, like what's happening now, not like what could happen.
Me after a week. Now that I've matured, now that I've learned some things, that's not normal. Do I believe in love at first sight? For some people will tell you, nah, like I knew I loved my person the first time I met them and they're married 10 years later. But do I believe that when a man meets you, women can love bomb too, but we're talking about the men here. Do I believe that a man can meet you and he's just perfect? He's just buying you all these gifts. He's
Yeah, like I was saying in a previous video, like, listen, if we live in like an era where money rules everything, like we're like, okay, inflation, things are getting more expensive, blah blah blah. So like it is easy for men to like weaponize finances to love bomb a woman because let's say you're talking to a guy, right? And then he's like, oh hey beautiful, good morning. And then he's like, what are you up to? And then you're like, oh, I'm thinking about getting my hair done and maybe getting my nails done, right? And then and without missing a beat, they send you like 350 to $500 like off the bat, like, and it's somebody you've been talking to for a short amount of time, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, he's applying pressure." Like, oh my god, like you don't know where the money coming from, but he's sending you money, and you're like, okay, and so now you're automatically in that mindset, like my man, oh that's my man, oh he pays for this, and you're like, oh well, this person can like they can fund my lifestyle. Okay, of course I'm gonna be with them if they can fund my lifestyle, you know. Um, some people they can't be boss. They're like, "Oh yeah, here take your money back because I can do it myself." But with the whole soft girl era, like sprinkle sprinkle, all of that, people are like, "Yeah," and so they will take that opportunity real quick because they're like, "Okay, this person can provide for me financially." Because it's like that again, taking it like to a future tense. So they're like, okay, if this person can just drop 350, $500 on me just because they want to make my day or see me smile, make me happy or whatever, they'll be able to provide a house full, get provide a certain lifestyle like that I want financially, you know? So you have to really just to avoid love bombing, you have to like pace yourself and see what's going on in the moment.
emotionally love bombing you, seeming super emotionally available, like the man of your dream, telling you he loves you after knowing you for 2 weeks. Do I think that now that I know some things, is that a huge red flag? Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Alyssa just sent me a video of someone doing a think piece about me. I want to see them though, because someone commented, she already took accountability. You and your wig are dismissed. Now I want to see the wig. I want to talk about how you can avoid love bombing to an extent. But first, let me read this definition I found on Google. What is love bombing? Love bombing involves continuously bombing a relational partner with flattery, compliments, and affections. This attention can come in various forms: gifts, love winded messages, social media interactions, and passionate declarations of love. However, love bombing isn't purely altruistic. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. People use love bombing because they also want to feel praised and adored. Therefore, they will lavish their partners, hoping that their partners will return the favor. So now that we know what love bombing is, I want to discuss ways in which I think you can avoid it, ways in which I will be avoiding it moving forward. That first way being not moving too fast. I have moved so quickly in previous relationships, you guys. Like, I'll dive head first. I'm like, look it, I'm all for it. And after a while, you have to learn, okay, maybe moving that quickly is just not good. Okay. Like you find yourself in similar situations after situations and you recognize, hey, How do all these situations start? It starts by me moving really quickly into them. Maybe moving forward, move a little slower, take your time. There's
Yeah, I don't know if I already said the whole year thing, but I'm just gonna assume I did.
no rush. Now, while you're taking your time, be selective with what you share. In the past, I have shared my previous experiences, my traumas with men that I was just getting to know, thinking that maybe if I share this side of me and get vulnerable, they will be more empathetic. That's not the case, y'all. I don't think that all men lack empathy. I will never think that, because if I adapt that mentality, then I think that's all I'll attract. So I really try hard to not believe that all men are the same, but a lot of them do lack empathy. A lot of men are extremely narcissistic, and when they're narcissistic, telling them all that, it's going to do the opposite of what you're hoping for it to do. I can't speak for everybody, but when I've shared personal things and I've gotten vulnerable in the past, it was because I wanted them to maybe treat me like a person, and almost like, damn, if I share this, like, they'll have empathy and they won't do this to me. They'll end up being worse. What ends up happening is they'll love bomb you, and they'll be the exact opposite of what you described, and they'll do what they need to do in order to get you to let your guard down. And the minute you're comfortable, the minute your guard's down, you find out not only is he just like the person you just left, he's worse. So don't give men a blueprint on how to act, because that's what they're doing in the beginning. They're acting. Not all of them, but the ones who are narcissistic, or they're acting. Sometimes they'll mirror you. They'll mirror all your good qualities and hide their bad ones until they know they have you in a place where they want you after all the love bombing has got you a little dizzy, you're not seeing straight, and then boom, this is who I really am. And trust me, I get it. Love bombing really does feel great. It feels amazing, especially when you've been in relationships where you haven't received much and you've been the giver. That's been my case. When I met someone who seemed to be the giver, who seemed to be able to provide for me this time, because I've always provided for the people I've been with, I'm like, this feels too good to be true, but like, it feels really good. And I felt like maybe I deserve this, so maybe I should embrace it. The thing with love bombing is it's never consistent. It's only like that in the beginning. And what they do is they show you this version of themselves in the beginning. And when you get used to that, they slowly start to take things away. There's a guy on TikTok that actually made a video breaking this down. It was kind of sick, but it made so much sense. But they slowly start taking it away. And then you're like, hey, why aren't you doing this? And they add a percentage back. And you don't even realize that, like, they're not giving it 100% anymore. That's why it's important to heal before entering relationships. And I'm speaking to myself because that's where
Yeah, and I went on this whole rant about um this term, like, oh, I need to heal. Like, no, you don't. You just need to learn from your mistakes. Like, I think that's like, feel it, okay. It didn't feel great, but you have to just learn from them. Like, this whole, oh, I need to heal. I need to not date anyone. I need to like focus on myself. I'm like, you're never focused on yourself, because like it's so hard to focus on yourself when you have other like obligations, like work, friends, family. Like, I mean, like in a romantic sense, okay. Like, I don't know. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe like, oh, I need to heal. I need to heal. Like, just learn what not to do the next time. Because if you literally just say I'm gonna heal and don't learn from what happened, it's gonna happen again. You're gonna need to heal again. So you just have to like get over yourself and realize that, hey, and identify like, hey, I made a mistake. Um, I didn't react to the situation how I was supposed to. Going forward, I won't do that anymore. That's all you have to do. Like, and just like be real with yourself that things happen and you just have to learn from them.
where I went wrong too. Because when you're healed and you
And the thing is, like, you can never be like fully healed, because you're going to take whatever happened to you in the past and you're gonna bring it to the next relationship no matter what. Like, you can't just be healed. Like, no amount of like self love therapy is going to erase certain experiences that you had. Like, in the one video where they talk about like being like the cool girl, you let's say for instance you have been like cheated on or something, right? So in your head, you're like, oh my God, like I don't want this to happen again. So you become hyper vigilant, right? But then take another person who has never had it happen. They don't have to be as vigilant. They don't even know what to really look out for because it's never happened to them. They didn't have to like look over their shoulders, look through phones, all that other stuff because like they just didn't have that experience. So like duh. But if you like going for like okay, let's say that Arnell heals from the situation with her child's father and like goes forward and meets someone else, right? Okay, you're gonna be extra like cautious and reserved, and you're not gonna want to like let your guard down because you're like, okay, last time I let my guard down, then like then this happened, and oh my child's father did this, and you also did this, so that means that you're gonna do the same thing he did. So you're gonna go in it with like past experience, and then like it takes for that person to ease your mind about okay I'm not going to do this and for them to show you with their actions that they are different and that they aren't the same person that you dealt with and then you can like build the trust that way because you're already going in there with trust issues, and it takes a lot to like build trust, but it's very easy to lose that as well.
You don't seek validation and love from men because you have mastered giving it to yourself, that when they start taking things away from you that you know you deserve, instead of settling for breadcrumbs, which is what they'll end up giving you, you'll walk away before you get yourself into some shit that now you're stuck. Okay, so that's my take on love bombing. And if you have other tips or advice on how to avoid love bombing, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And thanks for coming to my
Yeah, so I guess like my only thing is just to give it some time, see how this person reacts over time, see how they react with different people, interact, like their family, their friends, because that will be a telltale sign of like what kind of person, what kind of character that this person has. And no one's gonna be perfect. And if this person appears to be perfect, just know that they're literally hiding something because everyone has flaws, has bad characteristics, bad qualities, not everyone has like 100% good moral qualities and has done everything right all the time. So find someone who is able to communicate with you and like be in it with you and not against you, because some people they will say that they're in a relationship with you but be against you the entire time and want to like leave and flee and not try to get to the bottom of things. And for those people you have to let them go, because if they're not willing to like actually work with you to work things out, then like you're gonna constantly be butting heads. But I hope this audio worked, because if it didn't I will literally scream. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.